Dear friends, let us discuss one more important part of this running chapter, solar cells, is what? The design of solar cells. So what you can observe in this diagram, you can see the photovoltaic cells, modules, panels and array. So this is how we are able to get more electric power by the use of single cell unit of a PV cell. How these structures are able to get to generate the more electric power, because you know that single unit of PV cell, which is made up of P and N type of silicon, which is able to produce very low amount of current, that is what 0.2, 0.6 volt of current. So this small current is no use for any application in the device. As we discussed in the previous lecture, so photovoltaic cell is nothing but what? It is a PN junction diode which converts the light energy into electrical energy. As we discussed that this PV cell unit is made up of two type of semiconductors, N type of semiconductor and P type of semiconductors, which are sliced over one another leading to form the PN junction. When the sunlight falls on such a unit, what happens? Electrons are moving from valence band to the conduction band through the forbidden band gap, and that energy what it is absorbed by the single unit of the PV cell from the sun, it is expressed in terms of photon. Okay, when such a photon which is having more energy to overcome the forbidden gap, so that energy of photon can allow the electrons to jump from valence band to the conduction band. It leads to the formation of the current in the semiconducting material. So this is what the PV cell unit, where we are able to get this small amount of current, and with this small amount of current we are not able to utilize it for any device for the application. In order to generate more amount of power, what we can do that, we have to create the structure what it is called the photovoltaic modules. So let us observe in this diagram photovoltaic modules. What you can see that we have arranged a series of these PV cell units and also in parallel. Okay, so when they have been supported and they have been mounted in a support of structure, or they have been fixed in a frame, we are able to get the structure is called the photovoltaic modules. Usually, one photovoltaic module may consist of 36 or 60 or 72 PV cell units, which are electrically connected to each other and have been mounted in a structure of support and or in a frame. We are able to get the structure is called the module. In the third structure, what you can see that is what? The panel. So what do you mean by panel? Here, the photovoltaic panel is nothing but what? You can observe that. So here 1, 2, 3. Here 3 modules are connected in the structure of support. So what I wanted to define that module means what? So photovoltaic panel, which includes what? 2 or more modules which are electrically connected with each other and they have been mounted for a support structure or in a frame. We are able to get the structure is called the photovoltaic panel. Now let us observe here the big structure of what? By the combination of several panels, okay, in series and parallel, we are able to get the next big structure is called the array. Now what is meant by photovoltaic array? The photovoltaic array is the complete power generating unit. It consists of number of PV cell modules and it consists of number of panels and which are electrically connected and which have been mounted to the big structure or in a frame, we are able to get the large structure that is called the array. And array is the big unit of the electric power generating unit. Let us see in this diagram. You can observe that there are several arrays have been arranged now in a large land area for to produce a large amount of current. This is what about the one of the important part of this chapter, what the photovoltaic cells, modules and arrays. You may have the chance of the question. Explain the diagram of photovoltaic cells, modules, panels and arrays. Okay, this is what one of the part of this chapter. Now, as you know that the single PV cell is made up of what? The silicon. It means silicon what we have used, the semiconducting material, which is what its quality is what very much important for making the photovoltaic cells. So now let us discuss the types of silicons we are able to get in the industries and which type of silicon is feasible for to make use of what? Making the photovoltaic cell. There are three types of silicons we can have. The first one is metallurgical grade silicon. So what do you mean by metallurgical grade silicon? Here metallurgical grade silicon is nothing but one which has the higher concentration of intentional impurities. So what do you mean by intentional impurities? Intentional means which are purposely added for to make it semiconducting. Okay, so to enhance the conductivity, like boron and phosphorus. As you know that boron is added to get the P type of semiconductor and phosphorus is added to get the N type of semiconductor. So these are added to enhance the conductivity of the semiconductors. So these are what they have been added intentionally for making the semiconductor silicon. And also it has unintentional impurities which are not added by anybody else but they have been present, like aluminum, calcium, magnesium, iron, etc. So these are called unintentional impurities. If these all impurities are present in higher concentration, then that will affect the performance of the silicon. So because of that, these all together impurities are called as killer impurities, because these impurities are going to make the problem for the conductivity in the semiconductor silicons. This is what about the quality of metallurgical grade silicon. So this metallurgical grade silicon is not feasible to make use in the making the photovoltaic cells. Now you can see that the second type of silicon what can use, that is what semiconductor grade silicon. This semiconductor grade silicon, how it is prepared, it is the most refined form of the silicon. And the impurities levels are brought to be in very low concentration, which can be calculated for the level of parts per billion level of quantity of silicon. To get that impurities levels to the higher quantity with lower concentration, it increases the cost of the photovoltaic cell. So means the PV cells are made up of using the semiconductor grade silicon, which are becoming very costlier one. Therefore, this semiconductor grade silicon is not feasible for to make the photovoltaic cell, because the cost of the PV cell becomes costlier one, and that cell is not feasible to purchase, or these PV cells are not able to purchase by the common person. Now let us discuss one more type of silicon what can have, that is called the solar grade silicon. So solar grade silicon is also the same type of silicon where the impurity levels are being reduced to the so much quantity parts per billion level, and also this type of silicon is having the same efficiency as that of semiconductor grade silicon. Therefore, so solar grade silicon is what the most feasible for to make it use for making the photovoltaic cells. So therefore, this solar grade silicon we are using what in the form of polycrystalline silicon, that is used in the form of semiconductor for making the photovoltaic cell. Now we will discuss about in industry what are the ways we are able to get the solar grade silicon, because solar grade silicon is the most visible form of the silicon. We can make it use in the manufacture of PV cell units. So in industry, the solar grade silicon can be prepared by using the two methods. The first one is Siemens process. The second one is what? Union carbide process. So both these methods are used for making the solar grade silicon. But for your syllabus, you don't have the Siemens process. You have the union carbide process for making the solar grade silicon. Now let us discuss about one more important part of this chapter is what? That is what the production of solar grade silicon. Now, as I told in the previous explanation, solar grade silicon is one where the impurities levels are what? They have been reduced to the parts per billion level, which is required polycrystalline silicon used for making the semiconductor in industry. And these type of silicon can be prepared by two methods. What are the two methods? Let us discuss here. One is what I told, that is Siemens process is one. Second one is what? Union carbide process. So let us begin with the first one is what? A production of metallurgical grade silicon. Production of what? Metallurgical grade silicon, which is what you can say carbothermic reduction of silica. Now here, metallurgical grade silicon, what we are able to get from the industry, which is what? 98.5% of purity of silicon, and which is submerged in electric arc furnace. The furnace consists crucible filled with quartz and carbon. This metallurgical grade silicon, which is reduced under the presence of coke or coal, we are able to get the silicon. That is what as it is follows. Now you can take that silicon, industrial metallurgical grade silicon, which is having the higher concentration of impurities. Okay, so that silica, what can take it as it is reduced by using that coke or coal, we are able to get the silicon, and by the loss of carbon monoxide and further oxidation can release the carbon dioxide gas. So this is silicon formed in the molten state, and it is tapped from the bottom of the furnace. It is what? Drained from the bottom of the furnace, and the carbon monoxide further oxidized to the carbon dioxide, and this is released into the atmosphere, because as you know that carbon monoxide is what toxic to the environment. To prevent its pollution, we are able to oxidize further to release it in the form of carbon dioxide gas. Now second is what you can say, that is refining of silicon. So second method is refining of silicon. After manufacturing of that silicon, now refining of silicon. As you know that the crude silicon obtained by this above method, which is containing a large amount of impurities. Therefore, so we need to use large ladle, and which is treated with the silica or limestone. Silica is that what treated with limestone or calcium oxide or calcium carbonate, lime and limestone. So this is possible for to get the that impurities which are present in the silicon, like such as aluminum, calcium, magnesium, they gets further oxidizes. So here if the impurities are like aluminum, so what happens when they have been treated with the flux, we are able to get the silicon with the formation of ganj. If there is a calcium, when it is treated with the flux, we are able to get the silicon with the formation of calcium oxide. If there is a magnesium impurity, when it is treated with the flux of silica, we are able to get the silicon, and that's what the ganj is, what you can say magnesium oxide. So this is how we are able to get the